The Nightbeat starts right now.
New video tonight. Migrants moved from South Texas now arriving in our nation's capital. Who was there to meet them and what Governor Abbott is now saying about this initiative.
And we've seen changes on the border, a tweak in Governor Abbott's plan, and the impact the border issues could have on your wallet. We have team coverage coming up.
Plus, mask mandates for travelers will be around a little longer. The reason and how some in San Antonio are reacting. But first, policies and protests seeing a shift along the border. But how will the ripple effect impact you and your budget?
This is the latest development in our series. It's called The Line. Governor Greg Abbott's new plans for the border came after the Biden administration announced that it's ending Title 42. Now, this is a provision in a public health law that allows the federal government to turn back asylum seekers at the border, citing the pandemic emergency. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention plans to end that very order on May 23rd. The
Department of Homeland Security will then take over COVID mitigation protocols. Governor Abbott responded to that decision by adding several border policies, including extra inspections at border crossings.
A lot of people didn't like those changes. Some people protested. We know that truckers on the Mexico side of the FAR Reynosa International Bridge brought cargo traffic to a standstill. But drivers are now making their way into the U.S. as of about 5 o'clock this afternoon.
The night team's Alicia Barrera begins our team coverage from the Rio Grande Valley tonight. She tells us things are still slow going despite a blockade no longer in place.
Good evening. Well, this is the second stop in FAR for commercial vehicles after they've completed the inspection with Customs Border Protection. After that, they joined this wait list, and what DPS troopers are looking for are for defective lights, brakes, tires, among other violations. But about 200 miles away from here in Laredo, things look much different after DPS has ended the enhanced inspections tonight.
Clogged bridges can end only through the type of collaboration that we are demonstrating today between Texas and Nuevo Leon.
A new deal between Texas and the governor of Nuevo Leon ends the enhanced inspections on the U.S. side of the Colombia border crossing, as Mexican officials will conduct their own inspections there. Governor Abbott says he has heard from governors in Chihuahua, Coahuila, and Tamaulipas.
Until, however, those agreements are reached with those states, the Texas Department of Public Safety will continue to thoroughly inspect vehicles entering into the United States from every Mexican state except Nuevo Leon.
This is what it looks like in the Rio Grande Valley. Troopers signaling for drivers to turn on blinkers, honk their horn, and turn on windshield wipers to ensure they're working properly, just like a regular state inspection. Buenas tardes. We were able to speak to several truck drivers who successfully made it into the U.S. this week after about a 14-hour wait and are now headed back to Mexico to load up more product. They tell me usually in one workday they make 2 trips, but now, because of the blockades, they're down to 1 if they're lucky. And their problem isn't so much the inspection. They tell me it's how long it's taking. Each inspection on average is about 45 minutes long, but thousands make their way through here daily. And we did have the chance to speak to several drivers, and I asked them if they'd be willing to make the trip back to the U.S. knowing that there's a risk of hours-long delay. They tell me absolutely. It's their only chance to keep their job. Reporting in the Rio Grande Valley, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
They have no choice. Thank you, Alicia. Well, our team coverage continues tonight with the impact of all of this on our wallets. Delays in the produce trucking industry could translate into higher prices for grocery stores, restaurants, manufacturers. The night team's Patty Santos tells us companies in our area are watching closely what's happening at those border bridges. Patty.
Yeah, these produce companies tell me if you want tomatoes, if you want avocados, they're all readily available. There is no food shortage, but it is going to cost you more.
Like, we do shredded carrots.
Anthony Gress makes his living prepping and cutting produce.
Texas is very, very strong in food. We just don't have a way to get it here. And if we do get it here, you're going to be paying for it.
He can tell you firsthand he's seen the cost of food transportation go up anywhere from 63% up to 150%. Inflation, fuel cost, and a driver shortage are partially to blame. Now the border crossing delays have him waiting.
By them coming in late and charging more, it's basically increasing the cost and we're pushing on to the consumer.
But the border's open, it's very slow. Trucks that were typically coming across in a couple of hours are taking a couple of days.
Nando Gonzalez with River City Produce is trying to keep an optimistic outlook on what he refers to as the latest hiccup in business.
Human beings have a tendency to work together. They fix it, we get on down the road. It's just a little hiccup right now.
His concern is the loss of produce that's sitting in trucks for days, running out of diesel.
If they run out of fuel, then there's a loss there.
And both of these business owners tell me they spend a lot of their time figuring out logistics on how to get food trucks from one place to another, and at times even helping out competitors because they need to help each other out in order to survive. Steve, Stefania?
Patty, thank you. And our border coverage continues or includes another policy that Governor Greg Abbott implemented, and that involves buses moving migrants from Texas to Washington, D.C. The governor's office said the first bus arrived today at Union Station in D.C. People from Catholic Charities D.C. offered those on board assistance, food, medical care. Some people have called this a political stunt. Migrants have to be processed at the border and then voluntarily get on the bus. Yesterday, commissioners in Val Verde County said that out of the 261 migrants who were processed, only 24 of them volunteered to get on the bus. And by the way, you, the taxpayers, you're the ones paying for those buses. We're also following the latest developments online at KSAT.com. Governor Greg Abbott says that another bus is now en route to the U.S. Capitol. It's unclear when that one is going to arrive, but of course, we will keep you updated. Also, our KSAT Explains team digs into the history behind Title 42. So here's what you do. Just scan the QR code on your screen to watch the full KSAT Explains episode, because it's going to give you a better understanding as to how that policy has become what we know it as today. You can also watch it on the KSAT Plus app.
2 degrees shy of a record high temperature today. We made it up to 88 degrees for the high temperature. It's not going to be as hot really the next couple of days. We're going to talk about our next chance of rain when the humidity returns and where all the rain is right now in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. The San Antonio City Council facing a decision that could lower your property taxes. Because of a recent state law, the city needs to reduce its property tax revenue. That could mean raising the homestead exemption. The state of Texas caps how much extra property tax revenue cities can bring in compared to the year before. Property tax appraisals are up an average of 28% across San Antonio.
In periods of this rising value like this, it is going to be easier to implement a homestead exemption and provide that relief to our residents.
The city staff actually recommending an exemption of at least 5% on each home's value. The maximum it can do is 20%, but in order to make that apply this year, the council needs to pass it before this July. San Antonio's current homestead exemption, by the way, is the minimum, a straight $5,000.
All right, so you're going to have to keep wearing your masks whenever you use public transportation because the TSA has extended its mask mandate. That mandate was scheduled to end on Monday, but now it's going to continue through Tuesday, May 3rd. People at the San Antonio airport were mixed on this.
It's very difficult. I don't care for it at all. I think this is way overdue.
When you're on an airplane with people, you're right smack next to them, and, you know, honestly, it just doesn't bother me.
The TSA says that its decision is based on a rise in cases. The U.S. 7-day average has increased since the beginning of April as the Omicron BA2 subvariant continues to spread. That subvariant now makes up more than 85% of the country's COVID cases.
Still ahead on the Nightbeat, a fiery crash leads to a traffic tie-up on the city's northwest side. This developing story coming up.
Also, new details in that subway shooting from New York City. Investigators now sharing how they found that suspect.
They made a film about him, a hero who called San Antonio home, the effort to bring him back, and an update from his family. That story is up next on the Nightbeat. He called San Antonio home, and the effort to get him back here, back in the spotlight. Paul Rusesabagina saved more than 1,200 people from genocide in Rwanda. His efforts inspired the movie Hotel Rwanda. Paul has been an outspoken critic of the current Rwandan government, was living in San Antonio with his family until August of 2020. His family says he was tricked into boarding a plane in Dubai that ended up on a flight to Rwanda, where he is now jailed. This morning, a human rights group held a joint panel in Los Angeles to pressure the U.S. to get involved in his case. Actor Don Cheadle, who played Paul in the movie Hotel Rwanda, part of the panel, as well as one of Rusesabagina's daughters. She expressed her concerns, revealing her father may have recently suffered a stroke while in that Rwandan prison.
He's sick, he's ill, he hasn't had the medication that he needs for the last 180 days. We probably believe he had a stroke, and we don't have time. We don't have time, and that's why we need your help. We need the help of the international community.
Paul is 67 years old. His health issues are serious and persistent. He needs to have immediate and consistent medical attention, and he needs to be with his family.
The Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Organization hosted today's event. They also shared pictures of various members of Hollywood elite wearing T-shirts that read, "Free Rusesabagina." The pictures include Joaquin Phoenix, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, and current 76ers head coach and former Spurs guard, Doc Rivers.
Now for a look at your headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. You are about to see why so many people were stuck in traffic for hours this evening, and it is that fiery crash on I-10 near De Zavala Road. It's in the northwest side. Firefighters said that 2 people had to go to the hospital. At this point, we don't know how they're doing, but about an hour ago, police were still redirecting drivers away from that scene. Also, an update on that subway shooting in New York City. Police say that the suspect may have tipped himself off. They say that he called the Crime Stoppers tip line, saying that he thought they might be looking for him and that he would be around a McDonald's. 62-year-old Frank James is accused of setting off gas canisters and shooting into a subway cart yesterday morning. 29 people were hurt. 10 of them had gunshot wounds. All of them, though, expected to be okay. Police say that James is facing federal terror-related charges. Also here at home, another Easter tradition is returning to San Antonio's San Fernando Cathedral. The Passion Play is going to be performed Friday at noon. It's going to start with prayer service at Milam Park, and then there's going to be a procession to San Fernando. This year, it's going to follow a new route due to construction on De La Rosa. And another Easter reminder, camping, yes, it is back. It's going to be allowed at several parks starting tomorrow night. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
And tonight on Breakdown with hashtag Steph and Steve, our focus, teen mental health and suicide. We looked at how the pandemic has been a factor in mental health. We also discussed how parents can help their children if they're having mental health issues.
There's a lot of listening, but it's also a stance that you have to take that, okay, I'm dropping everything else right now. We're talking about you.
It is a powerful episode. If you missed it tonight, you can still catch the show. You can watch Breakdown right now on KSAT.com.
Now we're going to take a live look outside along I-10. We're I-10 and 410, right?
Yeah.
There you go. 77 degrees right now. It's so nice to look at that. Not too much traffic tonight. Just a decent night, but, hot. Adam?
Yeah, people in their vehicles were definitely cranking the AC, I think, for the evening commute. We had a high temperature of 98 degrees today. That's 2 degrees shy of the record and well above the average high of 80. All right, not as hot tomorrow. That's the key. Really, next couple of days, not as hot. Humidity's back on Friday. You'll notice the mugginess then all the way through the weekend. And a slight chance of showers come back into the picture this upcoming weekend. Don't go changing your Easter plans, though. Unfortunately, these rain chances are pretty slim. Take a look at it. Saturday afternoon and evening, 20% chance. So just a couple of little pop-up brief thunder showers here and there. Sunday, a 30% chance. We increased it a little bit because of a weak boundary. A weak little cool front could drop in and help us out a little bit more, but that would be later in the day and even into the night on Sunday. And right now we're not looking at the really prospects of anything really strong or severe. So Easter morning, just typical, humid, and warm out there. There has been a decent amount of rain over the past 48 hours, just not in our neck of the woods. You go parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, northward. They've had some good rain, and even parts of Texas yesterday evening and last night had good rain, but it came at a bit of a cost. And actually, I want to give you a quick update here. Yesterday, with the severe weather outbreak north of our area, we're talking up I-35, north of Austin, north of Georgetown, the National Weather Service did a storm survey today of a confirmed tornado near Salado. This happened yesterday, and they rated it a high-end EF3 tornado, max winds of 165 miles per hour. So, I mean, some of the rain yesterday came at a cost for our friends up to the north. Severe weather zone today near the Mississippi River, now moving eastward to the southeastern U.S. There's moisture out there. It's a dynamic pattern and a very spring-like pattern with a system that stretches from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up into Canada. That blue you see here, that's snow. I just looked at reports out of National Weather Service Forecast Office in Bismarck, North Dakota. 20 to 26 inches of snow already on the ground, and it's still falling. That's heavy, wet snow. You look at the forecast this is just a vague forecast, by the way, okay, of precipitation over the next 5 days, and you see for our area, it's mostly East Texas and then into the southeastern states. Around here, we just have that very slight chance Saturday afternoon, then again Sunday afternoon and evening, then a little bit again middle of next week. But unfortunately, nothing widespread, at least not yet. It's dry right now. Dew points down in the 20s to near 30, at least locally. You have to get right along the Gulf Coast to get into the humidity. Corpus Christi, Victoria, dew points around 70. The humidity is going to be back, but not until Friday. Friday, you'll notice it, and it's going to stick around through the weekend, and then it falls off again for Monday and Tuesday of next week. One nice thing about the humidity is that it helps mitigate the spread of any grass fires or wildfires that may develop. But bottom line is we just need more rainfall. Let's talk temperatures. 84 still in Cotulla. That's the warm spot. Hondo down to 69. 78 San Antonio, officially at the airport, but Stinson 85. 74 now in Bulverne and Hondo, again at 69 degrees. By tomorrow morning, a lot of us in the lower 50s. So we're thinking about 53 Port SA, 52 around the airport, and then some 40s as you get into the hill country. That's below average for this time of year. But then by the afternoon, we're in the 80s. So 80s, which is 10 degrees cooler than what we had earlier today. Nothing but sunshine tomorrow. 52 degrees at sunrise. By the noon hour, we're at 77. Notice those winds, not all that high. That's the nice thing. Those winds aren't going to be as gusty. They'll be out of the southeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Into next week, back down into the upper 80s. This weekend, though, you'll feel that warmth in the 90s.
All right, Adam. Thank you.
All right, Spurs in action.
Yes.
Started out encouraging.
Yeah, it's not a good sign when your two top stars, DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson, go 1 for 12 in the first half. And Devin Vassell, quite frankly, is playing hurt after he rolled his ankle. When we come back here, it is a do-or-die night for the Spurs. If they do not win, their season is over, and it's going to have to be a huge comeback in order for that to happen. And are the Cowboys moving up in the NFL draft? Coming up. Spurs in New Orleans tonight, take on the Pelicans in the play-in game. So far, every home team has won their game. Can the Spurs buck that trend? Devin Vassell with a hot hand early. He connected on a pair of threes to push the Spurs out in front. But early foul trouble for DeJounte Murray and Jakob Poeltl allows the Pelicans to take a 4-point lead going to the second. That lead would grow to 10 before back-to-back three-pointers from Vassell and Trey Jones, keeping things close. But C.J. McCollum was a monster, 19 points in the second quarter for a season-high 25 points in the first half to lead the Pelicans to an 11-point lead at the half. Let's go to the scoreboard and see where they are right now. Late in the third, about 2.5 to play in that third period, and New Orleans with a commanding lead, 87-71. The Spurs' next opponent in the play-in tournament, should they win tonight in New Orleans, and it have to be a credible comeback, will be the Clippers in Los Angeles. That's after they lost to the Wolves in Minnesota last night in their play-in game. Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell combined for 59 points to make up for a tough night for Karl Anthony Towns to secure the 7th playoff position. Edwards had 30 points with 5 3-pointers. Russell finished with 29. Towns only had 11 and fouled out out in the fourth quarter in the 109-104 victory. So if the Spurs should win, they would play the Clippers Friday at 9 p.m. in Los Angeles. In the Eastern Conference play-in game tonight, Trae Young and the Hawks hosting LaMelo Ball and the Hornets. The winner is a step closer to the playoffs. The loser goes home. Hawks flying high in the first. Young lobbing it to Clint Capella for the dunk and the foul. Hawks' Kevin Huerter hits his third three-pointer in the quarter, put Atlanta up by 10. The Hawks put the game away in the third, outscoring the Hawks 42-24. Atlanta wins 132-103 and face Cleveland on Friday.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys have become the first NFL team to have a cryptocurrency partnership. That's after Cowboys owner Jerry Jones announced a deal with blockchain and their co-founder and CEO Peter Smith at a press conference at the Star in Frisco. And the business of football wasn't far from Jerry's mind. He was asked if the Cowboys would trade up from the 24th spot in the upcoming draft.
I would trade up this draft and just going in as much as you can say about it until you see what's there, who's on the other line. But, yeah, I would trade up to, since we're down as low as we are in those first 2 or 3 rounds.
Former Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett has landed a new gig. He will be an analyst for NBC's broadcast of USL football, which begins this Sunday on April the 17th. Garrett coached the Cowboys for 10 seasons, leading the Cowboys to 3 NFC East titles in 5 seasons, but lost in the divisional round all 3 times. He would move to the New York Giants after that, where he was the offensive coordinator for 2 seasons. Remember, before his NFL career at quarterback, which included backing up Troy Aikman, Garrett played for the San Antonio Riders of the Old World League of American Football. The Houston Texans have 2 first-round draft picks this year. The 3rd overall and the 13th, thanks to that trade with Cleveland for quarterback Deshaun Watson. But there is no indication that either of them will be used to draft a quarterback. Not if you listen to new head coach Lovie Smith.
Davis is our quarterback. So there's one thing about leadership. In order to lead, you got to show up. You got to be here. They have to see you in every situation. And not just on the football field.
I'm definitely comfortable. I think the biggest thing with being a leader for the team just starts with showing up every day, showing the team that you're here to put in work. I think people mention a lot just the quarterback's role as a vocal leader, and I think that comes with the position.
All right, Texans organized team activities begin May the 23rd. Mandatory minicamp starts on June the 14th. The UTSA Roadrunners spring game is tomorrow. Get you ready next. The UTSA Roadrunners wrap up their spring workouts when they hold their annual spring football game tomorrow night at Ferris Stadium. That's coming off their best season ever in school history with 12-1 that included their first ever Conference USA championship. Now they'll be working to replace such stars as running back Sincere McCormick, cornerback Tariq Woolen, and kicker Hunter Duplessis. That said, the way college football has changed, though, over the last year. Head coach Jeff Traylor, who's about to enter his 3rd year as a Roadrunners head coach, armed with a new 10-year, $28 million contract, believes the spring game only benefits the fans and the media.
There was a day where this was a huge eval, and you put it out there. This is going to be your next year's team. With the transfer portal, who knows? I even talked to my staff. Should we change the way we do it? Should it be, the kickers having a kickoff, and quarterbacks having some type of throw off, and should the O line play the D line and some type of tug of war and stuff? What should spring game look like anymore?
All right, a little thinking outside the box there. The UTSA spring football game will be tomorrow at 7 at Dub Ferris Stadium. Texas League action for tonight. The Missions are trying to get revenge on the Rough Riders. They lost their home opener last night, but tonight they fall 9-6. And UIL soccer tournament, let's take a look at that now. It's 2 Bernie teams. Both the boys and the girls competed today in the state semifinals. Bernie girls lost to Salina 3-0. And in the process, the Bernie boys win to advance to the state championship round 7-1. And there is still one more team from Champion that's competing tomorrow, so we'll wish them good luck as well.
Bernie well represented.
Very well represented the soccer playoffs.
Yeah.
You got it.
Thanks, Craig.
We'll be right back.
52 in the morning, 86 tomorrow afternoon, still low humidity, luckily not too breezy. Humidity's back on Friday, you'll feel it through the weekend, and back in the low to mid 90s this upcoming Easter weekend, and just a few slight shower and thunderstorm chances in the afternoons. 20% chance Saturday, and then a 30% chance later on Sunday. And I do think we'll get rid of the humidity a bit again by Monday.
Okay. Thank you, Adam.
That's it for the Nightbeat. GMSA at 4:30.
Have a wonderful night.